It was built by Amenhotep III, the father of the pharaoh Akhenaten. Fragments of 850 sphinxes that lined the road have been found. Over 1,300 sphinxes were thought to have lined the road at one point. The new road that was found is called the Kabash Path and connects the Karnak Temple to the temple in Luxor. Ancient sources cited the existence of this road, but it had not been known to modern archaeologists until the recent discovery. The road was used in processional ceremonies in ancient times. Once a year, Egyptians would promenade down the road carrying the statues of Amun and Mut, Egyptian deities, in a reconstruction of their marriage. The road would later be used by Cleopatra and the Romans. The sphinxes along the Kabash path are inscribed with the name of Pharaoh Nekhtobo I. He was the founder of the last pharaonic dynasty, who died in 326 BC. The people who had homes above the ancient site had to be relocated before excavation could begin. These relocations took 18 months. Dr. Zawi Hawass, the head of Egyptian antiquities, believes that only 30% of Egypt's ancient treasures have been found. If true, the rediscovery of more ancient Egyptian sites like this may be on the horizon. Russia and Jordan have signed an agreement to allow a Russian company to explore the bottom of the Dead Sea in search for the remains of Sodom and Gomorrah. Arabic news sources have reported that the Russian company would work with Jordanian authorities in the search and pick up all costs associated with it in exchange for the exclusive rights to film a documentary of their endeavor. The Russian company sponsoring the search has specialized underwater equipment that can handle the high salt levels in the Dead Sea. Recent NASA satellite images suggested that parts of the Dead Sea are littered with man-made objects, probably remnants of the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, that may have slid into the sea when God destroyed the cities of the plain. One of the Jordanians heading up the project, Zia Madani, stated that Israel recently sent down a sub to the area to search for the remains. They found that the possible artifacts to be on the Jordanian side of the Dead Sea. Jordanian officials prevented the Israelis from crossing the border to continue the search, and now Jordan is continuing the expedition with the help of the Russians. They expect to begin the project in late December. I'm intrigued by this search, especially since the Russians have become part of it. Russia is thought to be one of the countries that comes against Israel during the end times, and relations between these countries, Israel and Russia, have never been stellar. And in recent times, Russia has been supplying military equipment and nuclear expertise to their adversaries, basically aligning themselves with those who may one day attack Israel. During the Gog and Magog war, those who object to the attack against Israel ask if the nations or groups involved have ask if they have come to take a spoil. A spoil would be some type of treasure or resource that others would want to take. Right now, it would seem that Israel doesn't have a whole lot of treasure or resources other than its land, which the Arabs want, and this could be the main issue of the invasion. But Israel could have resources that might be discovered in the coming years, which could lead to the attack against Israel to gain control of them. Oil and natural gas is being searched for along the coast of Israel by Zion Oil and Gas. They believe that they will one day discover a major oil strike in Israel, a strike that might reduce the influence of the oil barons around them. The Dead Sea is a treasure trove of rare chemicals and could be of great interest to someone who might need them. This makes the Dead Sea a potential target and leave open the question, is the Russian company that's involved in the search just looking for the remains of Sodom and Gomorrah, or might they be studying what chemical compounds are in the Dead Sea? Archaeological study alone may certainly be the only main motivation for the search. That, coupled with the Jordanian government possibly seeing another tourist attraction on their side of the Dead Sea. The remains of Sodom and Gomorrah may also contain something more than just an ancient city in ruins. Possible evidence of contact with fallen angels. The Bible states the Sodomites went after strange flesh. Strange in King James language would mean foreign or alien. The term may just not be referencing the moral debauchery and homosexuality that had infected the cities. The term may suggest another contact with fallen angels and the creation of more Nephilim in the land. We know that the Bible states that giants were in the world before and after the flood. Everything that had breath died in the flood, except for Noah and his family. So this would mean at some point after the flood, more fallen angels came to the earth and created more Nephilim, unless some of these giants survived by leaving the earth on some type of craft or UFO. These speculative ideas could find some validity if some type of proof could be found in the relics of ancient cities. Locating Sodom and Gomorrah can also give us clues into how the cities were destroyed, and more archaeological proof to the validity of the Bible. Centerville, Virginia, November 2010. People saw a bright blue light moving along the skyline. They saw the object for about 10 minutes, and images of it were recorded on a phone camera. The object made no sound, and the light remained constant and didn't blink as it moved along the Lee Highway. Also in November, fireballs were reported skimming across the Canadian and U.S. skies. Scientists from the Meteor Group of Western Ontario tracked one of the fireballs, while NASA tracked the other. New Year's Eve in Beebe, Arkansas, over 3,000 red-winged blackbirds fell on the town, landing on streets, yards, and driveways. Cause of death for the birds was blunt trauma and not an immediately detectable disease. Causes for the large bird kill include fireworks, lightning, cold fronts, and starvation. Normally large bird kills occur from an underlying disease such as bird flu, and not trauma. 3 days later, 500 red-winged blackbirds fell on La Brea, Louisiana. Harold Camping, an 89-year-old retired civil engineer, has predicted that the rapture will occur on May 21, 2011. Many dates have been predicted over the years, and so far, none have been correct. This prediction has gained some traction through radio and the internet, and there are even people traveling the country to deliver the message. While it's not likely that this would be the date of the rapture, it wouldn't hurt to think about what you would do if it was. Thank you for your interest in this show, and may God bless and keep you.
The Revelation 13 podcast is hosted by Mike Hopwood and is a podcast dedicated to the study of end-time events, news events, and ancient mysteries.